Hey, today we are talking about courthouse records and what you can find, deeds and property records. Sometimes you can find vital records. We're going to talk about that today and really how to research online for these records using the Courthouse Computer Systems that are found on most county websites throughout the state of North Carolina. Now, today we're going to be using Randolph County as an example. We're going to talk about that. We've got a handout for that. There's a link in the description about the handout. And hey, if this is your first time here, my name is Connie Knox. I am a lifelong genealogist here to help you go further, faster, and factually with your family history research. Let's get started. Okay, to get started, just if you try and find the county that you're looking for in the state in which you are looking. In this case, I'm just Google Randolph County, North Carolina Register of Deeds, and hit go. And we should be able to find that Registrar of Deeds. And in this case, it is called RandRod. And when you first get here, one of the things that we're looking for is real estate records right here. Once you get there, you have to click this button that says View Records Online. We have to acknowledge this disclaimer. We click through to that and we're good to go. So the first thing you need to do is click on this old index books because it'll default to this real estate property index, but you want to go to the old index books. I usually search both grantee and grantor. Right now I'm just going to start on grantor because I know specifically where I'm going. I'm looking for a record in 1873, so I want to pick this date range. And what you need to know is this box is the first box. The results of this box will take you to the second box. The results of the second box will take you to the third box, which ultimately will take you to your record. So we're just focused on this. We don't need to do anything here yet. So staying focused on just this first box, we hit the search button and we get results that look like this. Now, we have here real estate records in the old indexing system. And if you'll notice, there's groupings of columns. So these are AA, AB, AC, AD, and so on. In this column, we have AE, AF, and so on, right? We're looking for somebody by the name of Winslow. Well, I didn't type his name in here, so now it took me all the way to the beginning. I'm going to type Winslow in here because that's the surname of my ancestor. And I'm going to hit search and hopefully we can jump ahead to the W's at least. And there we are. So now we have WA, WAB, WAC, and so on. We need to get to Winslow, WI, right? This COT system is using the first 2 or 3 letters to help organize in the old books. These are the old books that you're looking at. And so we need to skip forward using this forward button until we can get to Winslow. We're looking for WI, and there's Winslow right there. All right, now it says it's on page 15. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug in page 15 up here at the top, and we're going to hit go. And now it has taken us to the Winslows part of the book. Okay, so now we've completed the second box. Now we're going to complete the third box. But first, we need to find our ancestor. So I'm looking for Hilkiah Winslow. If you'll remember, this is the guy we're looking for. Well, I know that from my research that a lot of his records are also H.K. Winslow. So let's jump back over here to the Winslows and see if we can find H.K. Winslow. Now, how this works at this point, if you'll look, we've got surnames in the left column, and we've got given names in the 3 columns. So this is the grantor section. This is the grantee. Grantors meaning sellers. Grantees meaning buyers. The way I remember that is grantors and buyers. That's how I remember it. All right. So we need to find HK. So we're looking for H probably in this first column because it doesn't fit in these other columns. Now, I also know he was married to a gal named Mary. So Mary may be showing up in this column. He also in some of his records were Hilkiah as in all one word instead of Hill and Kaya as a first and middle name. So we're looking. All right, we don't see anything here for that. So let's skip forward. And remember, we're looking for a deed in 1873. Now, sometimes it's faster to look through the date columns. So looking for 1873, we're getting there. Now, remember, these are not always in perfect chronological order or in perfect alphabetical order, But now we're starting to find HK in 1868. Now these are bonds. These are something different. These are actually bonds. I've already looked at these. These are bonds where Hilkiah was supporting political elected officials. So in some cases, these were constables. In some cases, it was the sheriff. Here we see H.K. Winslow might be something we want to look at. We also see Hilkiah Winslow. This is his father, Hardy. I have looked at this deed. This is where Hilkiah is actually purchasing the land from his father. And in the deed, it says deed right there. It says under the provision that Hilkiah takes care of Hardy on the same property for the duration of his life and takes care of him. It appears that he is ill. He ends up dying 6 months later. So this was in 1872. So we're looking for 1873. And here's HK. These are the deeds we're looking for. And so what I want to do is I want to take this information. Now it appears that they're 1 page apart, 489 and 490. So if you look at the headers, it says book and page. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this deed, this first one here, and we're going to take this book number 37 and we're going to plug it in up here. And we're going to take page number 489 and we're going to plug it in here, 489. Now you could click on other options here. I always have best success with book of record and hit go. And here is our document. Now this is page 489. We can see book and page over here. We can scroll in and look up and we can see that this is the 17th day of January 1873 between H.K. Winslow and his wife Mary Winslow in the county of Randolph in the state of North Carolina, and so on. This is the deed we are looking for. Now, one thing that you always want to do is make sure you are going to the next page, because when you look at this document, it continues on. You can download the document right here with the download button. You can print it, whatnot. I usually download it and abstract it. And so if we go forward 1 page using this button over here, and there you go. We were able to get to the second page, and we can scroll in and we can see that he has a signature here and a seal. And just always check the deeds before and after, because sometimes there's more information here. This goes on. Basically, it says here that in courts back then, what they had to do was they pulled the wife aside and examined her. When they say examining in the records, it means they're talking to this person and making sure she is okay with the sale of this record, because her dower rights, which means she would inherit 1/3 of the land, depending on the time period, depending on the laws of the land at the time, but her dower, her right to have a place to live after her husband dies, is at stake if she is giving up her right to, when she sells the land. So she's giving up her dower rights. So they pull her aside. They say, you okay with this? There was no duress. Your husband didn't make you do this, that kind of thing. So this is part of that document. So we want to make sure that we pull all of that in. And then here is another document. And this is the second document that we saw earlier. And so this is some more land records from that same time period when they're selling their land in 1873. I hope that was helpful. There are instructions on how to do this in the description box below. There's a handout for this. You can find it over at genealogytv.org in the handout section. And we'll catch you in the next video.